Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome. This is like my 6th time trying to record this video. Let's just get right into it. As the title says, I'm making a tier list of all the Smash trailers. Now, how am I rating these Smash trailers? Well, two things. Cinematics and how they present the character in the actual, like do we get a good idea of how the character is gonna work by the time we get to play as them? And that's how I'm doing it. Now, like I said, I've been trying to do this so many times. But, whatever, I'll just go over the ones already placed. So, Wii Fit 47 trailer didn't get much across. The cinematic was it was Mario, Link, and Kirby just doing a pose. They get smacked, we see Wii Fit moves, it's whatever. Bowser Jr., similar thing now. The area, the setting is kind of overused at that point. I believe Bowser Jr. is the last character to use that mountain canyon thing that they did for like several trailers. Obviously, Mega Man gets a pass because he was the first to do it, but everyone else is like, it's overused. Rosalina's trailer is so confusing because it didn't come up with a Smash symbol when it released. We get the idea that she's a puppet character, but like the trailer itself, it's like, is this a Kirby game? Is this a Mario Kart game? It's very confusing. It made no sense. Palutena's trailer, really good at portraying, who the character was going to be. It didn't waste much time showing that, oh, wait, if you know who Palutena is, you know it's going to be her. And then she whisked it away from fighting Link. And then, if custom moves, I believe custom moves were announced before her. If not, then I guess I should have put her in alright. But if they were, then I think that it's fine if I put her in really good. So, yeah. Whatever. But the cinematic, everything was great, but the last part, from what Teep said, from the best was the whole Dark Pit thing. It was very confusing because, unlike Lucina, they didn't confirm that he was a clone or not. He could have been an assist or anything like that, we just couldn't know. Sonic's trailer was Brawl at the time. Because Snakes doesn't have any gameplay, it's just him popping out of the box, he won't be rated. And characters who appeared in the trailers also won't be rated, it's just redundant. Anyways, but yeah, Sonic's trailer, he just blitz passes Mario and you see his gameplay. It's actually handled pretty well, and while it is, I believe, shorter than Wii Fit's trailer, I feel it did a better job communicating in terms of gameplay, and plus, obviously it didn't have cinematics, but the intro itself was handled really well, with Mario essentially getting knocked away by Sonic's speed. The Heroes trailer, it's really good. It has like the beginning heroic moment, middle character struggling, needs help. It's opposite to like Bowser Jr.'s, where Bowser Jr. was already on top and now he's just doing a lot better. And then the Koopalings show up and then, it's like a havoc. Joker's trailer, it was handled pretty well. This is the Joker trailer when he was about to release, not his Game Awards trailer. And in this trailer, I would say that it was handled well, but like Joker kind of just like, the Arsene bit was kind of confusing because Arsene was shown as if he was a separate playable character at first, and then he's a part of Joker. It was really confusing in that part, plus you don't get the idea of whether or not he's really meaner until like later on, which they do show, but like that's pretty much it. It's very confusing how they decided to show Arsene, basically. And then we have the best of the best. With these three, they showed the character, they presented them really well, and we got a great idea of how their gameplay was in certain parts of their gimmick. Like, we knew Robin would run out of tomes in Love and Sword. We knew Banjo could run out of Wonder Wing, and they showed Mega Man's abilities quite well, showcasing each one separately. I think it was handled quite nicely between those three. Alright, let us continue with Little Mac. Now, out of all these, Little Mac is perfect. I feel Little Mac's trailer is the best trailer of all time. The best one of all time. And why is that? Because out of all these trailers, you get the, cinematic wise, you get the music, right? You get that hype. You hear Doc Lewis, like tell him what to do. Little Mac is training. You can feel the energy. The music is building up, which I believe that song is never used anywhere outside of that trailer. So the music's building up, it's picking up, it's going great, it's going amazing, alright? And then when it says Little Mac punches in, you get a comedic moment in which, Samus is like, bonk, bonk, you know, he's short. Then Mac knocks her away, and then you see his trailer, and we see his ground game is extremely powerful. They convey that amazingly. All right, they convey how powerful Mac is on the ground with his speed and how fast his punches are and everything like that. It's handled very well. And then we see his weakness, his flaw, and I feel like that right there shows us like, oh, like Mac's ground game is amazing, but his air game is very lackluster. And we understood how that's how the character worked. We understood that the character had a way of dealing with projectiles by jumping over them. We knew that he could armor through moves. It was incredible on how they portrayed Mac. I feel out of any character we're going to be talking about, his is easily the best one out of the entirety of all the trailers. Let's continue. Greninja's trailer was very confusing. We're just going to move the ones that shouldn't be, that aren't going to be rated up here. I feel Greninja's was handled pretty well. The thing is, it was kind of confusing for a lot of people, I feel, because we all thought it was Mewtwo, and then once we saw the water, it's like, wait a minute, that's not Mewtwo. And then it was Greninja makes a splash. We kind of get the idea that, oh, he's like a ninja type archetype, similar to like Sheik. We saw that he had substitute, you know, stuff like that. But I feel in terms of his trailer, it was just so, it felt more so like a Pokemon Smash trailer rather than a Greninja trailer, because we saw Charizard in the beginning and we saw all that came with him, and then we saw all the other Pokemon. It felt more like a Pokemon trailer than it did a Greninja trailer. Pac-Man's is really good, not the best of the best, because in terms of gameplay, we do get kind of confused. They show the taunts off, and that's what throw a lot of people off, because it's like, are those, is that like separate moves? Are those arcade characters separate moves? Like they do stuff? No, it was just taunts. But in terms of the cinematic, it was beautiful, because it wasn't actually cinematic. It was just Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and now Pac-Man. They're all in the same game. This is a historical moment. We've never once had any of these four characters in the same game together. We've had them cross over separately. You know, Mario's crossed over with Sonic and Pac-Man. Pac-Man has crossed over with Mega Man and Sonic and you know, Mario, but they never really crossed over together, basically. And that was a historical moment when it came to Pac-Man's reveal. Now, in terms of Shulk's, they just show he has big sword and he has Monado arts. In terms of the cinematic, it's handled really well, I feel. And honestly, I can't, you know, they do show, oh look, jump, he jumps high. Speed, he runs really fast. Buster, they didn't really show that it did more damage, but with Smash, they showed it did a lot of knockback, and shield, you know, it shields him. So we knew, we got a perfect understanding of the character. We saw that his future vision was put as a counter. It was handled very elegantly. And the way the trailer showed, you know, you see Bowser, and he's just roaring it out, and he's like, where's the carry? Where's the guy? Who am I fighting? And then Shulk hiding in the grass, pops up, backslashes Bowser. Bowser's knocked away, and then boom, Shulk foresees a fight. Duck Hunt takes aim. Now this one, cinematic wise, it's just it plays Duck Hunt, and then what happens? It's sprites, and then Mario's like, hey, come with us. They turn 3D. Duck Hunt turns 3D. Boom, Duck Hunt takes aim, and it's a cute trailer. It's honestly one of my favorite trailers to go back on. But it really doesn't convey the character all too well up until like you see the zapper. It's like, oh, like you control the can and all that. But in terms of like the cinematic, I feel it holds it back because it's like, you know, it's just Duck Hunt. But again, plus I would say the timing was pretty bad because at that point the 3DS version already came out. We already knew of Duck Hunt, so it's like, why bother? You know what I mean? Roy's trailer didn't have any cinematics along with Smash 4's DLC, but I will say what Roy's benefits from is like, oh, you can't forget about me. Roy shows up, bursts through, and you could tell, and they even have a joke in there. Roy Cooper shows up, and then Roy's like, no, get out of here. And then you hear the music, everything's going great. It's like the hype is building. You even see, you know, his neutral B and how they have like the 8 Roys going, you know, bah, 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 bah. It was great. I will say that Roy's is really good. course, there's no, like I said, there's no real cinematic, but that's fine with when it comes to solo characters. Besides, one of these without cinematics of the Smash 4 characters was handled really well in my opinion, but I'll get to them when I get to them. Anyways, Mewtwo, we see his eye, we see how crazy he is, but Pikachu's in the end for whatever reason, just creeping up on Mewtwo with his back or whatever. When it comes to it, the trailer I felt really conveyed, because like in terms of gameplay, Mewtwo and Roy we already know, right? Mewtwo, Roy, and Lucas, we already know how their gameplay is because they're returning veterans. They're just veterans. And plus we already knew of Mewtwo, so I can't really put Mewtwo's best to the best. But in terms, of how they presented his gameplay, it was handled really well. And hey, they even showed that hey, his reflector actually now worked, because in Melee, for whatever reason, when you used Confusion and reflected a projectile, it would just go right through the enemy. It was really weird like that. Like it took away its hitbox. Lucas, easily one of the best. In terms of what they show a lot of references, and the way he was, the build up to the reveals, like you hear the sad music, Ness is getting beaten up, Ness is about to get hurt real bad, here comes Lucas saving Ness, and then Lucas comes out of nowhere. It was handled beautifully in terms of the music, like the trailer itself basically told a story, and without cinematics, that was so very powerful. You got an understanding of, whoa, like Lucas is here, he's back. It was handled very well. One of the best trailers in my opinion. What else can I say? Now, Cloud also belongs up here, because it starts off like the FF7 intro. Hear the music. If you're not an FF7 fan, you're obviously not gonna recognize the music, but you can, if you are one, you'll recognize the music, you'll know something's coming. The first thing you see is Smash Brothers. You don't see FF7, you see Smash, and then you see FF7. You hear the music, it's building up, you see Cloud walking in, and then, boom, Cloud swims into battle, and then it does that fade-in effect, like in the game. It was handled really amazingly, and then obviously we saw his meter, we saw how the meter affected his moves. It was handled beautifully. They even made some comparisons, like how limit climb hazard goes even farther and higher than normal climb hazard. It was handled really well, can I say? Now Corrin's was kind of like so confusing, because it's like it's literally chapter 6 of Fates, where it's like I can't choose between Birthright, Conquest, Revelations, Joy, and Smash. Like then the other Corrin shows up. It's like big brother turned big sister. Whatever, bro. It was such a whack trailer. It was okay. I'll be honest, it was okay. It was not bad, but it was okay. So whack. Bayonetta's was great. They showed that she's a combo character, and it really exudes her personality. And I do love that it's like Pit's talking to Palutena, and it's like I feel a strange presence, and then you hear Bayonetta's voice, and it's like, oh, it was like an angel. I must have missed one. She pops in, and then you hear the music, and she's doing combos. She's going crazy. She's getting wicked. I just love her trailer. It's really good. Not the best though, I would say. Because the way they portrayed the intro, it was you just see Pit fighting, and then you just hear Bayonetta's going, I must have missed one. That's pretty much it. There's not much to it other than that. Obviously Inkling's reveal didn't have any gameplay attached to it, so we can't rate it. Daisy's I'm not gonna rate, because it's not really cinematic. It was just like, Daisy's here, okay. And they just said, oh, she's like Peach. And what can I say? She didn't really have a trailer. It was just like, hey, she's a character. Wahoo. All right, now in terms of Ridley, easily one of the best of the best. They showed his the way they introduced him was perfect. It was near perfection. You see Mario, Mega Man, and Samus walking down a corridor. All right, Ridley shanks Mega Man, crushes Mario's head. Samus breathes in. She has a feeling what's going on. Turns around, sees Mario's hat. Nothing else. And then boom, Ridley shows up Ridley hits the big time, and then he does the Mario Odyssey intro. Like, this man literally robbed Mario of his Mario Odyssey intro by spinning the cap. Ridley's trailer is easily, like, cinematic wise, amazing. And in terms of gameplay, you know, they pretty much showed a lot of his moves. They even showed his down B skewer. They showed he has like a command grab. They portrayed his gameplay really well because they showed him as like a threat. Obviously in the game he's not a threat, but in the trailer it made you feel like this character's gonna be scary. Like he's just killing everybody. All right, he is power incarnate. It was amazing. It was beautiful how they handled it. All right, in terms of Simon's trailer, it was handled well. There was a build up to it. You know, you saw a guy in a cloak. You hear Luigi, he's panicking, he's running away, everything's horrifying him. You see Medusa pop up. At that point, if you didn't know this Castlevania, it's Castlevania. Simon lashes out. He shows up. Well, wait, which one was his? Yeah, lashes out. Kind of funny because Richter crosses over, but Simon throws a cross and Richter uses the... Whatever. Either way, Simon's trailer handled amazingly. We saw his gameplay. When Richter shows up, you see all the you see all their moves. You see that's like, oh, like he has this move from No Blood, but oh, they have the cross and the axe, and it's just great. It's like Castlevania. The only thing the only thing that was kind of confusing about the trailer and why it's not the best of the best is because they showed Dracula as like a boss, but then like they showed the stage, and it's just really weird how they showed that, because obviously Dracula is not in the stage. You fight him as a World of Light boss. Now K. Rool's, I feel, was really good, but then we never got the belly armor. Right? In terms of reveal, it was handled amazingly. You see the characters with their villains, but not Donkey Kong. Where's Donkey Kong's villain? You know what I mean? So I feel like the K. Rool part was kind of eh. Like, I mean, the gameplay, because even though they showed a lot of what he can do, they didn't show his belly armor crack, which was kind of like a big deal when he came out. So, yeah, that's a yikes. So either he didn't have it at that point, but either way, it's still a misrepresentation of the character. You know, we don't see his weakness, and that is, oh, he has belly armor. Whoops. Now, in terms of Dark Samus and Chrom, I will rate them because obviously they were shonen. They did have a cinematic, they did have an intro, you know, and Dark Samus's was alright. I mean, we couldn't really tell anything different about its from regular Samus. It was very hard to tell. Chrom, however, really good. You see the Castle Siege stage, and then there comes Chrom. The music blares, and then we see things. It's like, wait, he's got Roy's moves, but wait, he's got an Ica B, and like, well, obviously he can't. He has like the falchion, like the parallel falchion like Lucino, so his falchion doesn't have a suit spot or anything. But, you know, it was handled magnificently. I'll say that. All his trails are really good. It's just there's some unfortunate ones. And now Ken and Incineroar, and I'll put Incineroar because he was the main focus. Ken was great. You know, I guess I can separate them because, you know, with Charizard and Greninja and Lucina and Robin, they didn't show their gameplay until after the cinematic ended, where it was like Ken had a cinematic and then Incineroar. So I guess by that standard, Ken's is really good because it's a boxing ring, What can I say? He was punching out Mag. He knocks away Mag, and then, oh my goodness, in terms of choreography and cinematic to gameplay, this one was handled beautifully, because like when it goes back to the Ken versus Mag part, Ken does, I believe, crescent kick and then or roundhouse, and then it transitions right into the cinematic doing the same move that he just did in the gameplay. It was beautiful. And then obviously with Incineroar, he shows up, and I gotta rate it really good. Like, come on. And Incineroar's portion is just going crazy. He's just running in. Boom, fire. Just, you know, you see the character appear after he's wearing like his coat, whatever. I forget what it's called. Regardless, he burns up the clothes he was wearing up, and then in Incineroar we see his gameplay. But I'd say in terms, actually, I would say they don't really show his gameplay that well, honestly. And they show he's a lariat and a grab and all that, but and they showed Revenge is like, well, it makes him, like, his counter's kind of weird, like, it's like, it makes him stronger. They didn't really demonstrate his speed, which was his defining weakness, all too much, but I gotta put him really good. I'll put him really good. Now, Isabel's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad because this trailer and the Simon trailer both take, I believe, 45 seconds to get to the character reveal, like to actually see the character, or like near a minute. I think it's just a full-on minute, like a full minute before we actually see the tagline. And Isabel's was so boring. It was so boring. There's such a long build-up into what? Because there was no slash, by the way. There was no boom or whatever. And so, like, when it comes to Isabel, it's like, is this a character reveal, or is this Animal Crossing what's going on? And then Animal Crossing was after the character reveal, but it was so boring. It sucks. It sucks. It's not hype. Oh, this one's hype though. This one's hype. Similar to the Smash 4 DLC trailers, this one, Piranha Plant didn't have a cinematic. But, you know, that was kind of the point, because the reveal was set up as like, what is Piranha Plant? Is he an assist trophies? What is he? And then suddenly, boom, bam, you know, he's fighting, he's attacking, he's hitting everything. So it made sense not to give his to not give it a cinematic, because obviously we were very confused when we first saw it, and then it starts fighting, like it's crazy, it go crazy, you know. Go crazy, go stupid, and then there you go. Terry's now, technically, his should have points deducted because obviously the trailer was shown ahead and then there was no gameplay, so we already saw the trailer, the first half. But in terms of cinematic, it was handled eloquently, but also painfully. Now, I'm putting in really good because his trailer also hurts me. What do I mean by this? I wanted Geese and Iori, man. I mean, I love Terry, right? Terry was, my first SNK game was King of Fighters 97. I love Terry. Terry was my main in that game alongside King and Iori. But, like, Geese and Iori, like, this trailer, personally, I love it, but it also personally hurts me watching it. In terms of gameplay, they show his moves and all that. They show off his personality. They show the different hats, which is kind of funny. I believe they show all the hats, and no, they don't. I don't think so. They show the different costumes. That's what I meant to say. And they do show the hats. They even show the Neo Geo hat when Terry does a power dunk. He turns the hat around. It's like Neo Geo. It's crazy. It's crazy good. All right. Anyways, turning on ahead, we have a villager comes to town. And his was kind of part of the main Smash reveal. So, I mean, the build-up, it kind of cheats. It really cheats. And because obviously this would be the best of the best. But like, but Villager's portion in general is like, man, it's hard to rate. Alright, if we're rating just the Villager stuff, I'm putting in really good. It's just, it cheats. Because Villager, we don't see much of him. That's a problem. This one, I'm sorry, I gotta rate it as alright because it's so confusing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool that we saw Iwata and Reggie fight, but then it's like, oh, it's like the bees, and you get to play as the bees, and then the amiibo, and it's just really confusing. Then we have these last two. So, Ryu's. Here's the problem, is that I want to rate it the best of the best. But in terms of how, because the intro was literally I believe Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo intro, arcade intro. Like, come on, like, you know, I'm gonna put it up there. It's just that in terms of gameplay, like, I mean, as a Street Fighter fan, it makes too much sense that he wouldn't have input, like he would have inputs. It just makes too much sense. Why would he not have inputs? Like, come on. And they show his different moves, and obviously it was weird, but like for me, I didn't think it was weird because like I also played the Kirby games, so I'm like, oh, like he has a tap and hold mechanic. So I guess for me, personally, it has to be one of the best of the best. And they show his two final smashes, and the voice line's like, "You must defeat my Shoryuken if you want to stand a chance." I guess it's too good. It's too good. As for Byleth, it's alright. Because the problem is, it's not bad or okay, because the thing about Byleth's trailer is that it starts off weak. But then once female Byleth is introduced, it goes crazy from there on, right? You know, you hear the music, you see the weapons being used. They tell you, hey, look, smashes and specials. All the up ones are the sword, side ones are the lance, neutral ones are the bow, and the down ones are the axe. Like, come on, it's really cool how they portrayed it. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. As for Min Min, because obviously it's not here. If I were to rate Min Mins, I would put Min Mins in really good. I'd put Min Mins in really good. But yeah, that's my list. Little Mag is easily the best one out of the pack. And then these it's really good. As for these, I didn't rate, but whatever, doesn't matter. Either way, with that all being said, I gotta get to editing this video because as you see the time, I don't get a lot of time to upload this. But you know what? Enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Sorry for the sound in the background. That's why I tried recording this episode as many times as possible. Fortunately for me, I don't have the time. Please take care of yourselves, and as always, peace.